guys, welcome back to my channel. I've just washed my face, so I need to put on some moisturiser and primer. To start with on my lips, I'm going to take some NARS Orgasm Afterglow Lip Balm. These come in a different sort of shade. You can get it in clear. This one's got a slight pink tone to it. And they're so nice. Then I'm going to take the Henriksen Truth Sea Rush Brightening Double Cream. So this targets fine lines and wrinkles. It's all about brightening your skin. It smells divine. It's so kind of citrusy, but not. It's really hard to explain. I kind of know the scent from something else, but I can't put my finger on it. It's lovely. So this gives you 24 hours of hydration. It's got 3 sources of vitamin C and shea butter. It's lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. Then I'm going in with another Henriksen product. This one is the Banana Bright Face Primer. So this is to illuminate your face, hydrate it. It improves the wear of your foundation, meaning it's going to last longer. And it also contains vitamin C. This has been inspired by the banana powder that was trending years ago. Famous by Kim Kardashian. The original one was by Ben Nye. And that was a kind of a brand that was more for theatrical makeup. They did do beauty products, but it did really well in the theatrical industry. So the combination of these two products is a great way to illuminate your skin, hydrate it, and give you that dose of vitamin C. For foundation, I'm going to take the Lancome Idole Ultra Wear. This is very full coverage in terms of natural full coverage, not mask-like full coverage. The idea of this foundation is that it's retouch free, so you don't need to go back in throughout the day and top it up. The idea is it's a 24-hour wear foundation, so once you put it on, you're good to go. What I would say with this is when you pump it out, give it a couple of minutes on your skin while you test it, because it does oxidize ever so slightly. So from what I can see online, there's about 45 shades in this foundation. So loads. You'll definitely find something for yourself in this particular foundation. It's about £34, so it's not cheap, but a little does go a long way. So technically, it should last you really well. You'll notice when it goes straight on, it's quite fair. But as I said, it does oxidize slightly, so bear that in mind when you're choosing your colour. The shade I'm using is 025 Beige Lin, and this has SPF 15 in it. So what I love about this foundation is it doesn't feel cakey. This is actually one that I would consider for my wedding. It gives you the coverage, but as you can see, it just doesn't look like I'm wearing anything. When we say full coverage, it's where it covers those imperfections, but it still looks like skin. Whereas, for example, if you wore the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer all over your face, you would look like a mannequin because it's so full coverage. So that's the difference when I say natural full coverage. This is everything you need to give you perfect skin, but without looking like you're caked in makeup. So even though this does oxidize slightly, it doesn't oxidize throughout the day. What I mean is you can see that this is the colour on my hand right now, but if I put a fresh blob on, you'll see they look like 2 different shades, but it doesn't oxidize once it's on your skin. It stays true to colour. The foundation itself contains perlite and silica, 2 really good ingredients for absorbing oil, but it doesn't flash back. This is a really good foundation for weddings. So to keep this eye makeup relatively simple, I'm taking my bronzer, which is my Faux Tan Endless Summer Bronzer by bareMinerals, and I'm taking a fluffy blending brush and I'm just popping that into the socket of my eye. If you've watched a lot of my tutorials, you know I like to just pull the colour out towards the end of the eyebrow just to complement my eye shape, but do what suits you. If you have hooded eyes, you can still use this in the area where the socket is. Using a matte brown eyeshadow, it's going to sink that area. It's going to give the illusion that the area is flat and slightly shadowed. On the eyelid, I'm going to use this Ciaté London Marbled Metals in the shade Serendipity, which is kind of like a cool mink shade. And as you can see, it's a really beautiful, chunky metallic, only it's very soft. So when you blend it onto the finger, it's not chunky at all. It's completely smooth and creamy, and it just goes on completely opaque as well. You can see here, it is stunning. I believe there are 7 shades available in this same finish. And this makes me want to collect them all because they're absolutely gorgeous and so easy to work with. As you can see, you just pop them on with your finger and they blend like an absolute dream. So I'm taking this over the mobile lid up to where the eye naturally creases, and I'm also taking a small amount on my little finger and putting that on the inner corner of the eyes and underneath the tear duct area. As you can see, this instantly draws light to the inner corners of the eyes, making them the focal point of the face. Next up, I'm taking this really cheap and affordable Wet n Wild dark brown liquid eyeliner. I'm not using the applicator that comes with it because it's actually quite hard and doesn't follow the shape of the eye very well, so I'm dipping my art brush into a little bit of the eyeliner and using that separately. I'm keeping the liquid eyeliner very close to the root of the eyelashes, and then before it dries I'm going in with a dry brush and softening it so it becomes a bit more of a soft focus smoke at the root of the eyes rather than a defined liquid eyeliner. And I am building this up, so I'm applying one layer, blending that out, and then applying a second layer and then reblending it so it has a soft diffused finish. If your eyes are slightly hooded towards the outer half of your eyes, then creating a soft diffused eyeliner is a better way to attempt eyeliner, but that won't be for everybody. It really does depend on how hooded your eyes are. Winged shapes aren't suitable for everybody, I am aware of that. So here I'm just going over the eyeliner with my dry brush and just softening and blending so there's no harsh lines. In the areas where I want it to be a bit more intense, I'm reapplying the eyeliner on the brush and then softening the edges again until that seam disappears. I've now dipped a clean brush into the Serendipity eyeshadow and I'm just pulling the colour out to meet the very corner of the wing. Just use what's left of the bristles to pull the colour up so it looks nice and soft. Going in with a liquid brown eyeliner. This one has a slightly softer tip. I should have used this one from the beginning. I'm using this to tight line underneath my top eyelashes. This really helps with that smoke that we've got going on at the lash line and helps to make the eyelashes, when the mascara is applied, look a lot fuller and thicker. To make the eyes look a bit brighter and more alert, I've applied some of the Benefit Roller Bright Eye along the waterline, and then I'm just taking some Coffee Pencil by MAC, very softly pressing that into the root of my lower eyelashes. It just helps to make them look a bit fuller. And then I'm taking some individual cluster lashes and applying that all the way across my eyes. I do have many tutorials on how to apply these, so I will link them on screen for you now. To seal those in place with my natural eyelashes, I'm applying a coat of the Lancome Hypnose Mascara. It also makes my natural eyelashes look a lot blacker, and any visible glue is going to dry completely clear, and I've used duo glue to apply them. Now I'm applying a coat of that mascara to my lower eyelashes. I like this mascara when I'm using cluster lashes because it's quite flexible. It doesn't crumble and it just makes everything look a little bit like a soft lacquer. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's kind of how I see it. It's really beautiful. It's not my favourite mascara on its own, but I love it with cluster lashes. And this is the result with the eyelashes and the mascara together. No changes for bronzer today. I'm going to warm up the skin using my Endless Summer Bronzer by bareMinerals. I love it, so I'm not going to change it. So I'm working that over the areas that the sun would naturally kiss the skin and give you that healthy glow. So all the high points of the face, which is the cheekbones, top of the nose, and also around the top of the forehead. You can also do a little bit on the chin as well. The key with bronzer is to always go over it with your foundation brush, because this is just going to soften it and make sure that there's no sort of tacky areas. So if your foundation hasn't fully set in place, depending on which one you've used, sometimes if you use a powder product over the top such as a bronzer, it can stick in areas. So using what's left on the bristles of your foundation brush would be your best friend. I had no idea what I was going to do makeup wise, but I decided I wanted something that wasn't too heavy on the eyeshadow. Although there is eyeshadow clearly on there and I've used a metallic which is relatively heavy on the eyes, it still doesn't require much skill. We've put on the tiniest amount of bronzer through the socket and then the metallic eyeshadow straight onto the lid with your fingers, which is so easy, so anybody can do it. I feel like it's quite a whimsical makeup look because it's kind of all about lashes, it's very soft, it's kind of sparkly, it's iridescent pink. So yeah, very, very beautiful. It won't necessarily be for everybody, but I quite like it. It makes a change, it's something different. Last week I received this bag full of NARS products with a generous amount of their Show More Cheek powder blushes. So these are three of my favourite. We have the Orgasm X, Dominate and then Tempted, and they all have a beautiful shine to them. So they work as a highlighter and blush in one. I'm going to take Tempted and give that a whirl. Much like before, I'm going to use a small brush to work this over the skin so I can be a bit more precise with it. So just smile and pop that on to the area where the cheekbone sits and then pull it backwards. So when it's not in direct sunlight, you can see the blush colour, and then when it hits the sun, it will beam back. So you get the best of both worlds. Just be light with how far in you take it. Just use what's left on the bristles to pull the colour forward a little bit. The colour I've got in the eyes is kind of a cool tone, whereas the blush tone is a bit warm. This is beautiful, I love this. I'd quite like to use this on the eyes as well, you know. This is gorgeous. I like that it's a subtle tone, so it almost just gives you that kind of healthy glow front on when you look at it as a blush rather than just the highlight. So yeah, it's kind of not too pink, it's not too beige. The actual blush tone of it is quite neutral, which I really, really like. I'm just setting the centre of my skin with Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder. To add a little bit of concealer underneath the eyes, I'm going to go in with the Kevin Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer, which is a super duper pigmented concealer. You literally need like a pinprick size. I'm going to take the tiniest amount. I've got the tiniest amount on my brush. This goes a long way. You literally pop on tiny amounts where you need a little bit of concealing. And this is like super full coverage. I'm using a tiny amount because I only want a very light layer. But if you're looking for something that's really good coverage, that really covers dark circles, this is it. I've just popped it into the areas of my eyes that sink slightly just to brighten those, so it gives the illusion that they're a little bit less sunken. I don't need to take it too far up because I don't have dark circles as such. Everybody's got a little bit of an indentation where we have eye sockets, and I'm just popping a very small amount in there to brighten it. This is Milk Cosmetics Johnny Rose Chunky Glitter Lip Gloss, and it's beautiful, but it is a lot warmer than the eyes. Oh, it smells so nice. They have this really distinctive vanilla scent to all of their lip products. Oh, it's very fresh looking. I really like it. I love how fresh the look is. As I said, it does have a bit of a whimsical feel. That's probably because I've got a bit more of a mermaid hair going on today. If you want to know how to do it, I will link it on screen for you now. And that completes today's easy peasy tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Don't forget, all the products I've used will be listed and linked in the description bar. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.